Alright, we're here, Fort Myers Beach. It's July 23rd. And just got done with some garage sales. And I actually found 3 bonus garage sales coming to the beach. And they actually weren't that bad. Alright, so I just put, what I found the best lubricant for a bicycle is garage door lubricant. That stuff really gets in there and lubricates. So I put that on, and I'm telling you, it takes away the squeaks, and it melts away the corrosion and the sand and the grit. I'm a little worried today because my tires are showing a lot of tire rot. I've been driving them on sandbars. I'm telling you, if you've never driven a bike on sandbars before, I'll tell you what, that's fun. So the only problem is that you're gonna have to get like Kevlar tires to go on the beach. I have to invest in that because Kevlar tires are stronger than anything, and shells are no match for it. I think that's what I'm gonna do. The next 29-inch wheel tires I get, not inner tubes, but wheel tires, I'm gonna get Kevlar. So I'll have to Amazon that when I get home. Alright. So okay, we're just making our way up the bridge. Downshift a little bit. I haven't gotten my GoPro mounted yet. I'm still looking for an SD memory card for it. It's the only problem with the GoPro, you really have to get the expensive kind that has the extended memory. Otherwise, it's you only get like 45-minute range with it. The battery, you have to continuously change the battery like every half hour. Whereas a cell phone, the Samsung A10 I have, it's got a 3-hour at least battery life from a full charge. And the Samsung has got better microphones. So I think I ran over something and my back tire didn't like it. I think I can make it. We'll see. Otherwise, I'll be walking my bike back. I have my Land Cruiser bike. I have a lot of bikes. I have too many of them. And it seems like I have a specialized purpose for each one of them. This is my beach bike. A $35 beach bike. And I enjoy bicycling with it because, it's like a rugged bike. You just throw it in the, literally, you throw it in the car. You don't place it, you throw it. And it's got good speed. I just need new tires on it, really. So we'll see. Yeah, I got a bicycle I use for the tennis courts. I have another bike that I use like when I go up to Orlando. I have a different bike for that. I feel like Jay Leno with a different bicycle for every occasion. He's got a car for every occasion. All right. Let's see. I see Terabyte. There's that boat parked out there. That's a $2+ million yacht. Obviously, somebody's in the high tech. I wouldn't be surprised if that was like Bill Gates or someone. He could afford to have a boat parked there paying $10,000 a week anchorage. That wouldn't faze him at all. Even the Coast Guard cutter has got a worse docking than that Terabyte. But the cool thing, there's a Coast Guard boat parked out here. It's got 50 caliber machine guns on it. It's got at least 4 I see. That's pretty awesome. I see a rainstorm's moving in, but This is a Fort Myers Beach bicycle trip, so it's not that far. It's about an hour and a half total. So I'm not gonna let that rainstorm phase me. I see a lot of these not skydivers, but these parasails. I'm counting at least 4 of them. One of them is way up in the air, way out in the Gulf there. I don't know if you can see it off to the left, but man, that's way high in the air. I see one in front of Pink Shell, and then there's 2 directly ahead of us. That's really interesting. Okay, up ahead on the left, there's Margaritaville Beach Resort. You can see it's even taller than the Lighthouse Resort right now. That's amazing. It's amazing how fast they're building it. They're making that all out of concrete block and cement, which means that thing will definitely withstand a hurricane. And anything behind it, like the wooden structure, Lighthouse Resort, that thing will be protected when a hurricane comes, both by wind and by wave. That Margaritaville will deflect it. All right, we've got 2,000 Flavors ice cream. I had an opportunity to buy that place 30 years ago. Boy, that was a mistake. I should have bought. I own the place next door, which is now called Kilwins. Fortunately, when you get into business alone, not with a partner.
I don't think so. I think, well, we went a lot earlier.
Right. Oh, it's a beautiful day here. It's crowded. It's not crowded to get into the island on Fort Myers Beach, but Cerro Island. But it's not. It is crowded here, so it could mean that there's a lot of people spending multiple days, not just day trippers, but you have the people who actually are renting here. And you don't have to stay on the beach on Fort Myers Beach. You can rent a house inland and then just take your car to one of these parking spots. I mean, yeah, it does cost you some extra money, but the amount of money you would spend parking is definitely not as much money as you would spend renting on the beach. You might spend, you could probably get someone willing to rent you for, some of these old timers that still don't know about the value of property, they might be able to rent you $2,000 a month for one of their condos here. And if they don't know the value of money, shit, then you might be able to get a good deal. Whereas in Sanibel, $2,000 a week is the going rate. And if you get something less than that, wow. So that's why a lot of day trippers come. You know, you can stay in a hotel out by the highway for that matter, and then take the car here. Just get here early enough in the morning, get a good parking spot, and it's just as like you're living here. You know, the money you save, go out and eat. I mean, you can afford to go out and eat every night at a nice restaurant, and stay out by I-75 at a hotel, have a nice 3-star hotel, and you're going to want to drive on to do other stuff anyways. You're going to want to go. Fort Myers Beach is nice. You don't have to pay to get on the Cerro Island here, but you do $6 to get onto Sanibel. But I mean, if you enjoy the water, or if you like water sports, boating, and you don't want to leave the island, that's great too. I could see that, you want to do stuff that you can't do anywhere else. If you live up north and you don't live near a lake or river, and you're not near the beach, yeah, then you want to spend the whole time on the beach, practically on the beach, not necessarily on a Cerro Island, but on the beach, and I can understand that too. You don't want to spend it inland, you don't want to spend it at a hotel inland. You want to wake up in the morning, open the shutter, and the beach is staring at you. So you can drink your coffee in the morning and stare at the water for half hour between like 6 and 6:30. I agree with that. That's a nice tasting coffee, like a cappuccino, mocha, just watching the sunrise at 6 o'clock in the morning. Wow. Especially if you're on the 3rd floor of a condo overlooking water. Nice. That is sweet. But it's relatively calm at this point, driving near Bodwich Point. That's the public park coming up. And what's also nice and quiet is that when I sprayed the bicycle joints with Garage Door, it's called Garage Door Pro. And I did spray it on my garage door before I left too. And I said to myself, I saw the fizzing action it was doing, kind of like loosening up the oil and stuff like that. I'm like, you know, this would be an excellent carburetor cleaner, or it would be a great bicycle lube. I said, if it's a garage door lube, then it's got to be a good bicycle lube. So I sprayed it on the bike, and yeah, I'm feeling it. All the joints are loose and nice and pliable, and yeah, it's not barking back at me. So I brought some WD-40 I sprayed a little bit on it, but yeah, this garage door lube is awesome. I'd say garage door lube is a cross between oven cleaner and like a WD-40. So it has the fighting action of oven cleaner, but it also has the penetration of the WD-40, which means it's awesome. Bought that at a garage sale. I think I paid either 50 cents or $1 for an entire bottle, and I've used it at least 16 times to lube my bike, and I still have at least half a bottle left. So and I've lubed the garage, so it's doing a good job. All right, now I'm going to ruin the lube job by riding on the beach. It's sand everywhere. Maybe I'll hit a nice sandbar. Lately I've been coming out to the beach. It's been high tide, so it all depends. Once I get out to the beach and I see the tide, I can tell whether it's going to be oh, it's a high tide already. No, this doesn't look good. Hold on, I gotta walk it out. This is like sand here. Oh, yeah, I didn't wear my surf walkers today because, for one, I was in a rush. Two, I don't know if there was a two here. I just was in a rush, and these shoes felt really comfortable. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna step in the water, even if it is high tide. But if I do step in the water, I don't care. I'm wearing like $35 shoes with my $35 bike. So if I step in the water, I don't care. I got plenty of shoes. I just picked up a pair of shoes at a garage sale, a nice pair, a nice $35 pair for $1. In fact, it was probably a $45 pair of shoes. Never been used. I've already broken it in. It already looks used. But I just wear it just to knock around the house. I don't use it to like mow the lawn or anything. Just to walk around the house, between the car and the house. So I'm not really walking on anything that should destroy it. But, you know, here in Florida, it rains all the time, anywhere, anytime. So sometimes I am skipping a puddle or two. So that's what beats down the shoe. All right. So now looking eastward, I can see these rain clouds, but we'll see if I bicycle into them. The tide is not high. This is probably as low as it gets. So this is pretty good. I can hear the thunder and lightning off in the distance. But that don't deter me. What will deter me though if I develop a flat tire. But I'm not gonna worry about that, you know? Come with me. I just enjoy the bike ride. Try to stay away from the seashells. Alright. So I'm riding on of 6 gears. I'm riding on number 4 right now, which is pretty good on the beach. Usually I have to ride on first gear or second gear. If I ride anything more than first gear, the video is distorted. Like right now you're seeing distorted video. It looks like a hallowing effect, like a tunneling effect. That's only because, again, I'm using my cell phone camera instead of a GoPro. The GoPro has just one microphone, whereas the cell phone has 4 microphones. So, I'm looking at the water. I see a lot of floating seaweed. You know, you see that dark color stuff? That's the seaweed that, you know, is dead floating to shore. Either props from a boat or manatee or any other wildlife. Even crabs pull it up and it floats to shore. That builds beaches too. So that's the carbon being taken out of the air and the water. So if we want carbon sequestration. Okay, we're in front of the Pink Shell Resort right now on the right. I've left. See, on the right, you have a lot of people enjoying themselves in the water. People I see taking drinks out in the water. That's awesome. Oh, just to bob up and down the waves, drinking a cold brew. Oh, nice. And you want to drink a cold 16 ounce or bigger. You don't want the little tiny 12-inch cans. That's like a tease out in the water. In fact, 32 ounce beers, those big wide mouths, those are awesome out in the water. You sip those. Another drink I found which is really good is some hard iced tea. That you just sip and all your saliva turns to iced tea and it tastes excellent. And it has a delayed effect too. You don't taste the alcohol until about 45 minutes later. So it's that type of drink can get you in trouble if you drink it real fast because it tastes really good and you don't taste any alcohol. It tastes like just good tasting iced tea. But it is fantastic. Wow. This is awesome. This was a good decision. I mean, it would have been nice going to Sanibel too. Sanibel has just a lot more seashells, so I love bicycling around the Sanibel Lighthouse though, especially on the sandbars out there. So you can see that some of the beach was pulled out into a sandbar. So the sandbar is just gently coming back on shore. Okay, now I see two rainstorms. One of them looks down by the Naples Way, and one of them is South Fort Myers Beach, Lover's Key, Bonita. And it looks like they're trying to merge as it is. And I can see that it's heavy rain down there because normally you could make out the skyline of South Fort Myers Beach, Lover's Key, Bonita Beach, and North Naples and Vanderbilt Beach real easy. You really can't see Naples unless you're like up an extra story. But you can see that dark blue grayish, that's solid rain. So, which is good. Another story, my pool is filled up again to the tippy top, and it's blue as can be. I just put 5 packs of those sparkle crystals in my pool. It turned it bluer than blue. In fact, it's very tempting for me to jump in tonight. Cleaned out the filter. I didn't clean out the basket, I forgot to do that, but I'll do that probably either tonight or tomorrow. Just unscrewing the basket. I sometimes just take the wet dry vac and vacuum that stuff out. I sometimes take the wet dry vac and stick it in as far as I go into the impeller. And I turn the vacuum on, and any like little debris that's stuck on the impeller is pulled right out. That's the easy way to clean wet dry. That's the lazy person's way. But if you have a 1-inch or less tube and you can squeeze it in there, that's the easiest way of cleaning it out. And you can tell when there's no debris in there, there's no resistance. If you feel resistance and it's sucking on something, then just pull the vacuum tube out slowly, and all of a sudden you'll hear no resistance. You'll hear a big thump, like a big suction grab, and then your pool pump is clean. So that's the lazy way, but most efficient way of cleaning a pool pump without having to open up your impeller. A lot of people enjoying themselves out there. So far, this beach has been awesome. Plenty of room to navigate around the pedestrians walking. Very little seashells. Very little sandcastles to drive on top of. Look at that, they have a nice big paddleboard taken out. That's awesome. Yeah, everyone's enjoying themselves. The beach here is a little narrow, but you know, one more storm coming in the right direction, they'll push this sandbar up on top. It's just such a nice beach day today. I'm finding myself going faster than I should. Oh wow, the sandbar is exposed. So this is tempting to drive out there, but I'm kind of worried with the condition my tire's in. Wave running business is not a good business to be in because you have to pay some back to the county to be able to do wave runners here. I'm pretty sure it's between 20 and 50% depending on the location you get. And gasoline, it could be a gallon an hour. So if you're only charging between $25 and $50 per half hour and you're only being used about 30% of the time, it's not a good business to be in. People just enjoy wading in the water. Now in the country, selling ice cream, beer, water, soda, that's where you're going to make a ton of money. If you have an ice cream cart, you just have to push it about 10 feet, ring a bell, and people are lined up waiting to buy. And if you could sell dollar ice cream bars and dollar or less sodas, wow. Especially if you get the tall, even waters. You can go for $1 a water. A nice 16 ounce. If you have bigger waters, wow, you can get $2 if you had like 25 ounce waters. Oh wow, people would buy them. If you had liter waters, 30 something liter fluid ounces, ice cold, wow, you get $2 a bottle. It's crowded out here in front of Lanakai. There must be some kind of gathering. I see a lot of Trump flags. That's the way to do it, though. It costs $30 a day to park on Fort Myers Beach. If you just bring your boat up in Anchorage here, you can still enjoy the beach without paying and get a premium spot. Go diving off your boat. It's awesome. Still enjoy everyone out here. I'm on the sandbar now only because people have positioned their chairs up to where the normal high tide mark is, so I have the bicycle on the beach. So running into a little more shells. It's so awesome. Look at all these boats, everyone enjoying themselves. Really awesome. See, there you have a good business. You have a wave runner that's towing behind a raft where people can hang on and sit. The guy goes fast through the water. That's actually a better idea, a better way to make money, because a lot of people are intimidated by wave runners per se, and $50 is a high price. Whereas for 10 or 20 or whatever, how much dollars to be towed behind, you can get 8 people on a wave runner, and even if you're only charging between $10 to $20 a piece, they at least could experience a nice tow ride behind a wave runner. So that's an option. Of course, the nice thing is that if the guy tows you also out to a reef, there are some offshore reefs about 2 miles out here that it's only about 10 feet deep. And if you can do a glass bottom, or even you have snorkeling gear on board, that's totally awesome. Oh, this is so nice. I'm going to have to bicycle back. This is beautiful. So here's the ice cream truck. So here's the high tide, well, I would call it the high tide area, but here's the area where there's most of the waves. So this part of the beach is connecting with the regular beach. The sandbar is becoming less and less of a sandbar and more of a beach. I think right about here it turns into a beach. And then there's like a little backwater bay there. So even at high tide, this may be exposed. This is awesome bicycling up here. There's like no big shells. We're passing Diamond Head right now on the left. There's a sandpiper there on the left making a lot of noise. A lot of wave runners out today though. It's just crowded, but the traffic coming on the beach is not that much, so it's perplexing. And look at that thunderstorm straight ahead. That is definitely raining hard at South Fort Myers Beach. So I'm going to be driving up to those two towers. So hopefully it won't be raining on me when I get there, but you know what, if it does, come with me because I'm ready for it. With a beach like this on the way back, wow, I could hightail it out of there. Oh, someone's flying a shark kite. That's pretty awesome. The beach is wide here. It's almost about 60 yards, maybe 70 yards. So there's plenty of room to fly a kite, even take little dune buggies. Almost put like a BMX motocross trail here. So there's a lot you can do here on the beach. And there's a lot of sand dunes here too. The locals would probably get irate if you tried to make jumps out of them with a motocross, but still, that'd be awesome. Get like a little dirt bike here and start jumping the sand dunes. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, I see lightning straight ahead. It's going to cut my drive short. I still think I can make it. Yeah, a lot of these seagulls, they've been tamed so much by people feeding them. They don't even fear people. Dogs, yeah, you understand. It's like a game to them, you know. They understand people feed them. You make a hand throwing motion up in the air. These seagulls, it's almost programmed for them to fly over to you. They seem to know. Crows, the same thing. You make a hand motion like you're throwing up in the air. Even crows know that. They'll come over and see what's going on. Oh, this is cool. This is like a little motorized vehicle, and it's moving. And there's a dog in it. That's totally awesome. Thank you. I hear the lightning. I hear the thunder. I didn't see that lightning, but I heard the thunder. Alright, so now we're coming up to the Fort Myers RV Resort. This is one of the most economical places on the beach to stay. They always have RVs to rent here, so you don't necessarily have to bring your RV here. They have people that actually do timeshares on their RVs, so you can rent their RVs, and some of them are kind of pricey, but some of these RVs are really nice inside. I'm back on the sandbar again. Oh, this is heaven. Oh man, this is delightful. And usually when you have the extreme tide like this, the sun and the moon are at opposite sides of one another. Or is the moon at 90 degrees? I forget now. But the sun is directly overhead. So the moon has to be at 90 degrees then to the sun to make this low tide, or else the sun would have pulled the ocean towards it. So this would be high tide right now. So the moon has to be close to the earth at 90 degrees to cause this low tide like this right now. Yeah, so that's a little bit of astronomy there for you. For there to be a low tide at high noon, then the moon has to be 90 degrees in relative to the earth to the sun and close to the earth for it to have more pull on the oceans to pull the tide out like this. because the moon doesn't travel in a perfect circle around the Earth. It travels in an ellipse. And sometimes the moon is closer to the Earth, and sometimes the moon is farther away. When the moon is farther away, the sun has dominance over the tide, so high noon is when there's going to be high tide. But when the moon is closer to the Earth, then you're going to have, and at a 90-degree angle, then you're going to have a low tide at noon, which is what it is now. So the interesting thing is that when the sun comes up at 6 or 7 in the morning, and the moon is either on the same side of the sun, and it's a new or full moon, then yeah, you're going to have an extreme low tide at 6 in the morning, 6, 7 in the morning. And the same thing, no matter where the sun is in the sky, you're going to have extreme high tide if the moon is in the same position as the sun, whether it be a full moon or a new moon. If you can see the moon in full, that's a full moon. That means it's on the opposite side of the sun. Or if you can't see the moon, that means it's on the same side of the sun. So, oh yeah, man, I'm just cruising here. At good speed, good clip. We're lucky to have 3 videos. But even with that storm approaching, you can barely see Lover's Key. It's coming down in buckets there. That real dark blue over there. This water is so serene, and the noise that it makes you want to just curl up under a blanket, maybe a nice little canopy. And there is a subtle breeze too. See, tonight's going to be a lot of romantic walkers out. If the moon is at 90 degrees to the sun, then there could also be another low tide around 6 or 7 tonight. You got a lot of people walking on the beach. Yeah, not much sand is sticking to the tires. I'm amazed. I mean, I know the tide is still going out per se a little bit because the ground here that I'm bicycling on is still kind of